Hey everybody, I'm installing the Axxess ASWC-1 into my 2004 Nissan Maxima. This is the harness plug that you're looking for. It's a 16-pin top and bottom row right behind the radio buttons on the upper center console that covers your screen and your center vents. As usual, anytime you're working on your car and you need to shift out of park, make sure emergency brake is set. Your car won't come out of park unless you're in the start position, so you'll want to make sure you put it in start or on versus start, and then shift it out. I leave it in neutral, turn the car back off, and now I'm going to pull the bottom cap of the shifter off. You'll have your small clip that holds the shift knob on. You remove that. I place it in my cup holder for ease of remembering where it's at. Take off your shift knob, take off the bottom cap. Now to remove the shifter plate, push forward and pry up with your fingers. It should come right out, and you only have to worry about the plugs on your hazard button and your cigarette lighter. Now, if you don't have a cigarette lighter, then you just need to worry about these two clips under the hazard buttons. One is a small white clip. I'll show that here very quickly. The next is a little 2-wire brown clip, and you can remove that rather easily. And you're done, unless you have the cigarette lighter. If you have the cigarette lighter, obviously you need to press on that tab and move that plug off of the cigarette lighter, and your center console's out. From here, very quickly, you have two screws at the bottom of your center plate. Once those are removed, you can gently pry on the sides of the midsection of your center console that go around the radio and your AC controls. You'll have 4 clips on each side, and I can show those to you briefly once I've got that removed. You'll go ahead and pull out the storage tray area, and everything comes as one piece. You'll see the clips here, and they're located on 2 on each side, up at the top and the bottom. You also have a small ribbon cable. Make sure you pull that out gently. There's a tab you need to release on that, and there's your clips. From there, you want to make sure you tuck the ribbon cable back in just to keep it out of your way, and you have 2 screws that are going to hold the top center console area. This is the piece that has the cable that you're going to run the steering wheel controls to. You'll gently take these 2 bottom screws out real quick, put them again somewhere safe that you can hang on to them. Like I said, I use my cup holder. Take these out, put them up, and you're set. Once you have your screws out, go ahead and start to gently pry on the bottom of this cover. It has a couple of tabs that you have to loosen up, and you can pry them out. This is the plug that you want. It comes straight out from under the computer that does the BCM. It's pretty easy to get out. You'll go ahead and unplug that, and then you can gently pull out, lift up, because there's 2 tabs that sit at the top of this. Also, if your vent happens to come off like mine's does, make sure when you put it in that you secure it in all 4 tabs. And even if it doesn't come off, you want to make sure your tabs line up. I actually didn't do that on the right side. But you've got 4 tabs on each side of the vent. It's slotted, real easy to see. Make sure they just slide in there. Press them down, make sure your tab's locked, and you're good to go. And you can set that aside for right now. The next thing you want to do is you've got 4 screws that hold the radio and the info screen into the frame, and you'll want to remove those. Just make sure you keep your screws where they're handy. Like I said, the cup holder is a great spot for this. You don't have to mess with anything in the cup holder area, so you can take them out and put them down. Now, once you have your screws out, the tabs that hold the frame in on either side of the radio, there's actually a notch there for you to lift up and out of, so make sure that you lift the tabs out. It'll save you a little frustration, and hopefully you won't break anything or bend anything. Once you've got this lifted out, you need to disconnect the cable that plugs into the info screen. Just below that, you'll have the cables for the AC controls, and you can decide if you want to unplug those or not. There's enough slack in it right now. I just set them off to the side, so it's not too big of a deal. It's very important if you're going to put the Axxess ASWC-1 in your car that your aftermarket radio is compatible with a wired remote, which you can see the Pioneer is. Here's really quickly the packaging. I unwrap it. This cable is for, I believe, GM vehicles. There's a 2-wire pin that you connect the wires to, and then it has a female jack, and then you plug the ASWC into the female jack from here. But this is the unit. It's really basic. It's got your serial number and everything on there. This one is updatable via micro USB. This is the pin adapter on this side. That's your USB cover just there to the right. And then you'll have a reset button and your power LED that shows you the programming. Here's the wiring harness. Obviously, you plug it into your unit. Plug in the female jack into the wired remote control on the back of your receiver. And once you've got that plugged in, from there you need to establish where you're going to hook up your power and ground to. Obviously, you don't want live power and ground, so you unplug the power cable for your aftermarket harness. And I will use the 12-volt accessory line and the chassis ground from this and crimp those down. Here you can see I've got them crimped in. They're all set to go. I've got my power to my unit. Now I need to tap into this plug, which is again the radio button plug. And you're going to be looking for the green wire, which is pin 10, and the red wire, which is pin 3. And they're going to hook to, according to the instructions on the ASWC-1, to the red wire on the ASWC-1 to the red wire pin 3 on your plug from the car. And then the white and green wire is going to plug into that. And here's where you see where that plugs into if you have any questions. There's been some confusion on the forum, so this will hopefully square that away. But again, this is what your plug looks like. Again, your instructions on the ASWC-1 show it. It's the Nissan 16 pin. This is the green wire. This is considered pin 10. It's the very first wire on the bottom row of the plug when you're looking at it with the tab on the top. From there you'll see the red wire, which is pin 3. There is a pin next to it above pin 10, and it kind of gets in the way, but you can see it here. I'll show it just above my finger.
Stuff you give away, and then use credits to get stuff. Después en la cama lo vamos a terminar.